as usual on Tuesday evening 8 p.m. and I and Shalini are very excited to speak about the unitary patent system. And I want to share it with a disclaimer that we are not European attorneys, but this is a topic of interest to us because we are in the field of patents and because clients want to register their patent globally and wherever they want to commercialize their technology. That's why this topic is of interest to us, but we are not registered European attorneys. So, welcome, Shalini. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Priggya, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
And I hope all our viewers are having a great Tuesday.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So, Shalini, will start with your opening remarks.
my opening remarks. The unitary patent system is something that is implemented by the European Patent Office. And as the name implies, it has a unifying effect and it talks about establishment of a new patent code. The unitary patent essentially gives you uniform protection across all participating countries as a think of it like a Walmart, a one-stop shop where you go and get everything. And this gives you immense cost benefits and reduces the amount of paperwork that you're going through. So the unitary patent, the patent court that comes under the unitary patent will offer, it'll be a platform for a single specialized jurisdiction dealing exclusively with patents.
Correct, absolutely. So, like Shalini said, probably I'll try to simplify it. Uh, so, what happens is, as we have discussed in many of the sessions, that patent system or patent rights are jurisdictional in nature, and in whichever country we have to get a right, in that country we need to register our patent. So we have for Europe, we have European Union, which has approximately 44 countries. So if we can get a patent granted in European Union, but if we want to have rights in 44 countries, in each of those 44 countries we have to go and validate the patent granted by the European Union. So this is the general scenario. Now with introduction of unitary patent system, what happens is, instead of going to each of 44 countries, still only 17 countries are part of the unitary patent system. I can file one validation request in the unitary patent system, and through that request I'll get the patent validated in 17 countries. So I don't have to probably hire an attorney in each of the 17 country and get the validation there. I don't have to get translation for each of the 17 country and get a patent there. I can just use one single application in one particular language through one attorney to have rights in those 17 countries. Was I able to simplify it?
Yes, I think you said it far more elegantly than I did. Um, so, Prigya, is it right to say that this is similar to PCT but only for the European countries?
Shalini, I would say yes and no. Yes, because yes, we have one application which gets transferred in many countries, but in PCT we generally have examination after we enter into a particular country. But in unified patent system, we'll not have examination for each country. It will come into picture after a patent has been granted in Europe. So first we'll have European Union, the middle, we can say as the middle party involved in checking whether we can get a patent on it. We'll get a grant from the European patent, and only validation will happen in multiple countries.
Right. Okay. So, yes and no.
Yeah, yes and
You
no.
answer. Okay. Does any other country have a unitary patent?
I don't think I know about it, but I definitely know that Asia should have something similar, because Asians generally, when they come up with products, they want to sell it in every country in Asia. But
Right.
because we don't have a system, then it is very difficult to commercialize in each of the country.
And I'm afraid to even say this aloud, but given our neighbors, do I'm talking the one on the eastern side, not the western side, and how often they are in news in terms of global politics. Do you still want a unitary patent system in this part of of the world?
I don't think it is possible. Like coming up with this, maybe like we have treaties like ASEAN, which deals with South Asian countries,
Yes,
and they are very friendly. Seven South Asian countries. So I think for that it might be possible, and still it would be a good step if we proceed in that direction with
mm,
with the countries which are friendly with each other.
right. Yeah, I think a smaller group rather than the
Yeah,
entire Asian
correct,
conglomerate. I think a small part of it that can get along with each other if they come together, that would work too.
correct, correct.
I personally like the idea of a unitary patent system for different regions
Yeah.
because I see that the amount of paperwork and the amount of fees and the amount of just time that is wasted in
Correct,
hiring attorneys and emails going back and forth and just the procedural delays are too extensive. So,
correct.
in that sense, a unitary patent system would work. I think I would like the idea of that. And I would like for India to be a part of a unitary patent system somewhere.
Yeah, and I think another example could be US and Canada, because those two jurisdictions are also very close. And when people want to target, they want to target US and Canada both.
Yeah. And then the South American ones can form another regional. So, yeah, it may be a regional based thing. And I know it's kind of moot at this point because we've already discussed this, but what would be some of the advantages of a unitary patent?
So we just discussed one would be the cost, would be hiring of one attorney for handling everything related to patent
Right. Mm.
application in multiple countries. The process would be faster.
Mhm.
Renewals would be faster, because then renewals will also happen at one place instead of at very different countries. I think management will become very easier. These are
Yeah.
some I can
Simplicity.
think of. And
I think
yeah,
simplicity,
simplicity.
just that it's so simple now for us with a single application process. And this ties in with with the point that you mentioned that instead of having to apply separately one single application, which then
Yeah,
brings me to the fact that I am almost certain, or I'm certain now that I'll get my patent in all of these countries. So that
correct,
legal
correct.
certainty, that assurance is also there. Uh, I would like to add uh, this entire thing of everyone coming together, the single platform, so harmonization, everyone coming together and standardizing the patent system. Because even now, if you go apply in the different European countries, you are dealing with each office action separately. But if that harmonization is there, it reduces the risk of decisions, each office giving you a contrary decision, and you having to fight having to prosecute your patent in those different countries separately. So at least there's
Yeah,
harmonization and it's consistent for everyone.
correct. Absolutely. And Shalini, I can think of one disadvantage as well,
I was just
which
going to
is
ask you that. Okay, tell me.
yeah. If you want to share that, you can.
No, 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 I'm waiting. I was going to ask you, what do you think are the disadvantages? So tell me.
So the disadvantage which I can think of is probably if a patent get invalidated in one country, because then
Hmm.
United Court would be the one who would be handling infringement cases. And if infringement happens in one country, the patent gets invalidated. If it gets invalidated, it will get invalidated in 17 countries altogether.
Right.
I think infringement cost would also increase, damages would also increase, and people, I don't know
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
who infringes the
Would would renewals, if I don't renew in one country, would I have to go for renewals in all the countries at the same time?
No, so it would be one system in each country. So I think the cost will also depend on that. So we have, through mine, like whatever I was reading, we have an option. We can opt out from certain number of countries. Think that those countries are not part of, not of value to us in terms of commercialization of products. So that is possible. But to whichever countries we have to pay one fee for renewal in all the
Okay,
countries.
okay. So opt out
But
is also an option.
yeah, opt-out is also an option, but it has certain clauses which I am not too sure of. I want to tell this with the disclaimer, but they have clauses like we can do it within 7 years of the grant. After that, we can't do it, and
Okay,
certain time limitations with that.
okay. And what about litigation? Which would be the appropriate forum for litigation? It would be the
So that
unified, the
would be
patent court,
UPC,
UPC.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
United
Okay,
Courts.
okay. And they would
So
have
new court would be there
new
to
court, and I
analyze.
wonder which laws would it function under?
Yeah, I think that there would be mostly rely on European and the European Convention. That
Yeah,
is the that would form the basis of everything which goes
absolutely.
here.
And language requirements, would those be different? Would we have to
I
translate for I think we would have to translate
No,
for each and every one of.
no. So translation only. So that translation would be used for all 17 countries. We don't have to
Okay,
uh, translate in languages.
okay, okay. All right. And I'm glad you put that disclaimer in because I would like to learn more about this. So if there's any European attorneys out there who come across this video, I hope you will get in touch with us and enlighten us if
Yes,
we have said anything untoward or wrong.
and they feel scared filing applications in Europe because they want to have like they get that validated in 44. So if we can simplify the process for
Yeah, I'm all for UPC and the unitary patent system.
definitely. Any final thoughts before we conclude this?
Who, if the powers that be are watching this YouTube video
Mhm.
or LinkedIn Live, I hope you will think about a unitary patent system in our part of the world and make things a little easier for us.
Yes, and for inventors as whole.
Yes, us meaning us and our inventors.
Yeah, perfect. So with this, we'll close the session and we'll see everybody next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Something property. Thank you.